Hi everyone, welcome to Roshchem summary videos. In this video, I'm summarizing the lesson Energy from Fuels. Okay, so now we will first discuss about energy profile diagrams for exothermic and endothermic reactions. The first one is for an endothermic reaction. So we know in endothermic reactions, the enthalpy change is positive. So, or else in other words, in endothermic reactions, the energy of the products are greater than the energy of the reactants. So you can see this is the energy, the y-axis is the energy, and this is the reaction progress. So the reactants, they have some amount of energy, and then they absorb the activation energy. So this is the amount of energy absorbed by the reactants to break the bonds of the reactants. So that's called the activation energy. So from the reactants to the top is called the activation energy. So after that, so after absorbing the activation energy, you have the atoms here which are ready to form the products, and now the new bonds forms, and so this is the energy released when the new bonds are forming, and then they become products. So you can see in the profile now the energy of the products are greater than the energy of the reactant. So therefore I can see the enthalpy change. Enthalpy change is the energy of the products minus energy of the reactants, so which is now positive. So in endothermic reactions we have a positive enthalpy change, and the products, they are at a higher level than the reactants. And the gap from the products to the top is the energy released during new bond formation, right? So here you have atoms ready to react, ready to form products, and they form new bonds and they release energy. So this is the amount that they release energy, and the enthalpy change is the difference between the energy of the product and the reactants. Okay, now we'll look at an exothermic reaction. In exothermic reaction, it's the other way, right? So these are the reactants, the products are here, right? So this is your reactant, and that's the product. And this is the gap, right? So the gap from product to the top is what? It is the energy released during new bond formation. So this is that gap from the product to the top is the energy released during the new bond formation. And the gap from reactant to the top, this one, it is the activation energy. So that's how much of energy you give to break the bonds of the reactants. Now you can see in this diagram the enthalpy change is negative. The products, they have less energy. The products are here, they have less energy than the reactants. So therefore the enthalpy change is negative. So delta H, or the enthalpy change, is the H of the products minus the H of the reactants. So you can see now in this case the product's energy is lower than the reactants, right? So if this value is lower than that value, the delta H will be negative. So that's how we draw the energy profile diagrams. Okay, so what will happen when we add a catalyst? We know catalyst can speed up the reaction. So how the catalyst speed up the reaction? So they speed up the reaction by reducing the activation energy. So how do we show that in a energy profile diagram? So now here I have taken an endothermic profile because the products are at a higher energy level than the reactants, right? So this one is the original one without adding a catalyst. You can see the activation energy for that one is from here to there. So that's the activation energy without a catalyst. Now when you add a catalyst, what will happen? The activation energy will be lowered. So therefore you can see now the profile is, this is your reactants, now a lower activation energy, right? Now the activation energy is only this much and they become products, but the activation energy is lowered, but the delta H will not change. So the addition of a catalyst only reducing the activation energy, but it's not changing the enthalpy change or the delta H. Okay, so this diagram shows the activation energy for the forward and the reverse reactions. If the reaction is going in reverse direction, what will happen to the activation energy? So This is your forward reaction. These are the reactants, right? Now this is the activation energy for the forward reaction. And if the backward reaction is happening, for the backward reaction, the products become the reactants, right? So for the backward reaction, the products of the forward become the reactants of the backward reaction, which means this is the activation energy for the backward reaction, right? So remember, for the forward reaction, the activation energy is from the reactants to the top, and for the backward reaction or the reverse reaction, the activation energy is from the products to the top. And the delta H value is same, right? For the forward reaction, you can see, because it's endothermic profile, the delta H is this much, which is positive. The products, they are at a lower, products are at a higher energy than the reactants. But if the reaction is going reverse direction, the reverse direction means now your reaction is starting from here. So now for the reverse reaction, the products become the reactant. So now that's your reactant, and the reaction is now going like this, which means now it's the other way. So now this is the reactant for the reverse reaction. This is the reactant, that's the products. Now the products are at a lower energy level than the reactants. Therefore, the enthalpy change or the delta H will be negative, but the value, the magnitude of delta H, you can see still the same, only the sign will change. Okay, now we'll look at a calculation. This calculation is showing how to find the delta H of a fuel. Okay, we'll look at the question. 0.25 gram of a fuel, the molar mass is given, undergoes complete combustion in a spirit burner. The heat energy released is used to heat 50 grams of water. The temperature of the water rose from 25 to 25.25 degrees to 38.75 degrees. Calculate the heat of combustion of the fuel. So first understand what's happening here. So you have a fuel in a spirit burner. Your fuel is inside that. Now it's burning, right? And so this is your water. Okay, so what happens now? The fuel is burning, so it's releasing energy. So it's undergoing combustion, it's releasing energy. So that energy will be taken up by water. So here we assume there's no energy lost. So whatever the energy released by the fuel is completely taken up by water. So the assumption is no energy lost to the surrounding. Okay, now we'll see how to do the calculation. First, I can find how much of energy absorbed by the water, right? Because for water, I have the mass and I also have the temperature change. So I can use the equation Q equals to mc delta T here. So mass of water 50 grams. C is the specific heat capacity of water, that's 4.818. You can find that in your data book, and that's the temperature change. So I get this many joules, right? So remember, if you have grams here, so the energy will be in joules. So this is energy absorbed by water. Now I can say, so from where I got this energy? So this energy I got from the burning fuel. So I can say then the fuel is releasing this much of energy. I can also say this is the amount of energy released by the fuel. So how much of fuel released this energy? I can find the moles of fuel because I am given 0.25 grams of fuel. Molar mass is given. So moles equals to mass over the molar mass. So this many moles of fuel burned. So therefore, I can say energy released by 0.00417 moles of the fuel is same, right? So energy absorbed by water, I have equals to the energy released by the fuel. So how many moles of fuel burned? This much. This is the amount of energy released by this many moles of the fuel. Therefore, energy released by 1 mole of the fuel, so which will be equals to energy divided by the moles. So we know delta H equals to, we can also use this, delta H equals to Q over N. So Q is the energy, so which is this value, and divided by N. So N is the mole. So you get delta H first in joules per mole, right? The energy you will get first in joules because this value is joules here. And after that, you divide by 1000 to make it kilojoules. So then I write, when I'm writing the delta H, I write negative. Why negative? Because this is a combustion reaction. So delta exothermic, so delta H is negative, then value, and then the unit kilojoules per mole. So this is the method to find the heat of combustion of a fuel. So not only for fuels, you can apply this for even for food, right? This is how you find the heat of combustion using Q equals to MC delta T is the equation, and using delta H equals to Q over N. Okay, so that's the end of the video. So you can try questions now from RushChem study guide. You can find the questions on pages 14 to 23. So thanks for watching my video. So if you have any further, if you need any further information, please visit our website www.rushchem.com. I will see you in another video.